You're going to get a little bit more casual, relaxed type of video today because I'm on vacation. I'm high up in the eastern Sierras and I'm at a place called Walker Lake, which is a really beautiful area. There's a bunch of cabins up here. We're staying with a friend. And there's a tree that I never really have worked on. And it's an interesting tree. I want to talk about it a little bit today. It's called the quaking aspen. And it only grows at higher elevations, closer to water. I don't believe it's related to the birch, but it might be. I need to know a little bit more about this tree, but there's one really interesting aspect of this tree that I want to talk about today, and that is how people seem to like to carve their initials in the bark of this tree. Now that's not something that I condone, but because this is a camp that's been occupied since, oh hell, the 1800s, there's a lot of history in the trees. People have been carving their names and a lot of times the date on the trees around here. So let's take a little walk and I'll show you what I've been finding. Well, first let's talk a little bit about the trees that are up here. Over on the side there you can see a very significant aspen and a few smaller ones, but we're kind of interspersed with Jeffrey pines. The Jeffrey pine here has the shorter needles, and there's also a few sugar pines. Let's see if we can find a sugar pine. Here's one. You can see the bark is quite a bit different, and these have really long needles on them. There's a few more over in this area. These are all high elevation trees, so I don't get a chance to work on these types of trees too often. And as far as the aspens go, I gotta be honest, never. So just everywhere I look, I find evidence of old carvings, and you can barely make this out, but this is 1990. There's something over here. It's kind of interesting. A lot of these I'm just trying to guess what it is. I haven't got a clue on that one. Now there's your typical heart carved into a tree with somebody's initials. These are all Jeffrey pines in here. You can see the bark is a bit different. This one's a sugar pine, long needles. And there's a few more aspens up here. There's a prominent tree that's had a lot of carving on it. Let's see. I can see a date of 1970. Some of them have kind of been altered through the time. Oh, look at this one. This one's really old. 1939, May. This is Jim. Something else that's washed out. And unfortunately, that tree is now dead. Was it because of all the carving? I doubt it, but like I said, I can't condone carving your name in trees, but it's funny to see how many trees up here have had people do that. Now, speaking of sugar pine, this is the granddaddy of all sugar pines up here. It is from this side to this side over here. Oh, I'd say at least 8 feet across, maybe 9 feet across. And the trunk diameter up here is, oh, I'd say 7 feet. And it just goes on and on. Just a magnificent tree. This is the mother of all the sugar pines up here, I think. And there's a whole forest of sugar pines. Now I don't know how old these trees are. I can just look at the dates on here. There's a date, 1967, JP. That's not a real big tree. So clearly they grow really, really slow. I need to find something where I can count some rings. ALLX 1990, and then 1992 they came back to do it again. Now this is a private camp, it's not open to the public, it's a membership deal. But Walker Lake is a public lake. Apparently they own the land adjacent to the lake, but the lake you can hike into. You just can't come in the private road that we drove in. There's a whole bunch of carvings on these trees, and most of these are kind of unlegible. I see a 1971 over here. So clearly the members of this club have been writing on these trees for a long time. 1999. There's a 67. That must be the allure, that the trees will hang on to the initials for a long, long time. And judging by that 1939 I saw back there, apparently it holds it for a long time. This is truly a magnificent place up in the high Sierras, the Eastern Sierras.